Welcome to Synthaholics. This is your host, David Duncan, and with me is...
Brian, that's me. David, I'm Brian.
Hi,
Get it
Brian.
right.
Hi, Brian. I'm David.
Hi, David, I'm Brian.
Good to meet you.
So,
Good to meet
David,
you.
we did it. We did it again. We did a little something different. We changed it up again. We did it.
Last time we did a versus World of the Worlds 1953 versus
53.
World of the
Yep.
Worlds 2025, which was actually made in 2020. But you know,
It doesn't matter. It came out in 2025.
that 5 extra years made all the difference.
Honestly, it really did because they could have changed things up and fixed it, but they didn't.
We'll
But
fix
David,
it
this
in
isn't about
post.
War of the Worlds. This is not that one. This is not the one about War of the Worlds. What we did this time is we took 3 shows, watched the first 3 episodes of 3 shows, and then I don't know, we haven't got far what that means yet, but we're going to talk about the 3 shows that we watched, David. That's what we're going to do. Did you watch all the shows?
I watched 3 episodes of 3 different shows. Star Trek The Next Generation, Stargate SG-1, and Stargate Atlantis. Did I watch the wrong shows?
You might have watched the. We didn't have that. I didn't know that. That's what we were doing.
No. No, so this is called First Impressions.
First Impressions.
Yeah, so we actually did 3 newish shows. They're not like brand new, but you know, they're newish. More recent than some
I mean,
shows.
they're pretty new. They all came out within what I actually don't know. I take that totally back. I have no idea when Dead Boy Detectives came out or Silo. Literally no idea. It could have been 10 years ago.
Well, Silo, I think, is on its 3rd season, so I think
okay, so
it's at least 3 years
like
old.
2004.
So, you know, 3 seasons mean it could have been 3 years ago or 8 years ago.
Yeah.
The way streaming's been going lately.
Just season in between season. Did you know House of the Dragon? Totally off track. We're not talking about House of the Dragon at all. But now that I'm on this little side path here, did you know House of the Dragon just started filming for their next season? How? It's already been like 2 years or a year and a half since the last season came out. How are they just starting to film now? Whatever. So that'll probably be out a year from now. Or The Boys. Where's The Boys? Never mind. We're totally off track. It doesn't matter. David, the way we wanted to go about this, we talked about this briefly before we started, was we were going to rank them worst to best. That's what we're doing?
Yeah, I think we'll go worst to best. That way we can get the bad stuff out of the way and then get into the good stuff later. So without talking to each other, we already knew which one was the worst.
No,
and it's
true.
obviously the thing we do not have featured in either one of our backgrounds, which is Dead Boy
I
Detectives.
just noticed that in your background. I didn't like fully examine your background, but I just figured like each one was the show. But now that I'm looking at it again, it's not.
No, it's all Shogun, and you've got all Silo.
Yeah, I got all Silo.
I love how Shogun. I mean, granted, we're jumping the gun a little bit since we're not talking about Shogun yet, but I love how Shogun's like a prequel to Mortal Kombat.
A little bit.
Scorpion.
It can. Yeah, so the way, just a little backstory on this is that David and I wanted to, well, I kind of initiated where we're going to do a little bit of a change for the podcast, and I decided that let's do a show that does the first episode of 3 shows, and then we just kind of talk about them. We weren't able to podcast last week, so that gave us a little bit extra time, so we watched we watched 6 extra episodes to kind of really get into the show. And gotta be honest, David, I really liked this format of doing this. I got a lot of different like feelings from multiple shows. I enjoyed doing it rather than just watching, you know, one season of something and talking about that. What are your thoughts on the format?
I mean, it's kind of neat.
It feels new. It feels like I haven't seen it before.
Well, I feel like we may go back to 1 episode per show going forward. It kind of just depends on timing, but I almost feel like it's going to be harder to judge on just 1 episode a season.
Well, we don't necessarily have to. I didn't even think about judging anything. I didn't get that far. It would definitely be harder to judge since we've only seen a couple episodes of each one. I guess we can just give how our vibe is for each show. And then I guess I think at some point there is a show here. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's probably a show we're going to throw into our schedule at some point to watch, and we'll get into reasons why when that timing comes. But David, our first show, our worst one, our third worst. We haven't talked at all really about these shows besides like how many episodes we were going to watch and what shows we were going to watch. That was really the only conversation we had. And then about 5 minutes before we started podcasting, we needed to decide how we were going to talk about the shows, what order we're going to go in, and we decided to do best to worst. And we both have the exact same order of shows, and our first one is David, Dead Boy Detectives.
You mean
worst? Do you agree?
You know, worst to best, not best to worst.
Oh, my bad. I get confused with Red Letter Media.
Best of the worst. Oh, yeah. This is worst of the best. Welcome to our show.
Worst of the best. Yeah, exactly. So, David, tell me about Dead Boy Detectives. What's it about?
I don't know. God. So Dead Boy Detectives. This is how it came off to me. Supernatural, the TV show Supernatural ran for like 12 or 15 seasons. Each season had like 20 to 25 episodes or whatever, roughly, give or take. And Dead Boy Detectives was like the worst episodes of Supernatural, all back to back. I enjoyed Supernatural, and I did not enjoy Dead Boy Detectives at all. It just felt like it was trying to be Supernatural with a different twist, and it was not working for me. Instead of two brothers solving crimes and fighting ghosts and other supernatural things, we've got two supernatural things fighting other supernatural. I guess they're fighting the living because in other supernatural things.
No, they're not supposed to, because in one of the episodes, that one guy went into like a real person who's a witch, and that was against the rules, because then some other woman in like the authority, the police station for ghosts, said, no. You can't do that.
That's what kills me. That's what kills me, because like I really don't like Dead Boy Detectives, but the woman who's coming after the ghosts, she is actually
the most interesting.
She is from Supernatural, and she is from Supernatural. She's one of my favorite characters in Supernatural. Rowena, Crowley's mother. I love her so much, and it hurts me that this show is so bad, because she's such a good actress. She knows how to ham it up in the right ways to like, and she's got a great accent. I love her.
If we're being fair here, we only watched 3 episodes. I don't know how many episodes there are in this season, or how many seasons if there is more than one. I don't know any more information other than I've watched the first episode, second episode, and third episode.
Yeah,
But she feels like she's the main. It felt to me that she's going to be the main issue, the main antagonist of the thing. That's what it felt like to me.
And she's great. I love her. Like, she's the only thing I enjoyed about the show, because I love her face and I love her voice and I love seeing her on screen. Like I said, she's one of my favorite characters. She's one of my favorite characters in Supernatural. So
it did feel like a low budget CW show.
Yeah.
That's a vibe that you can get from Dead Boy Detectives.
And then if you like put a jinx on a cat, like the Cat King gets mad at you, and like that's an unresolved plot thread after the first 3 episodes.
We didn't watch the whole thing.
I know. It's just
a lot of stuff that's unresolved.
It's just so cringe. Like, so much of the show's cringe. What was your gut reaction?
If we're talking about the cat guy real quick, David, I was uncomfortable. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with nothing, but like that cat guy was uncomfortable to watch for me. Yeah, I didn't really like the cat guy. Or I don't know, just not, that wasn't good. The most interesting part though for me, or the episode or the story beat that was the most interesting, was they got stuck in a time loop and they had to figure out how to get out of the time loop. To me, that was probably the most interesting sequence of what was going on with the show. Mm-hmm. I feel like they still could have done better, but I think we're stuck with the script isn't the best, unfortunately. I'm not saying it's bad. It's not like I think the show's more just not for us rather than it being bad. But
It's hard to say because I love Supernatural, and this is like trying to be the new
yeah, but it's
super. That's
it's
what it
more
feels
it's
like.
it gives more young adult vibes,
I
like
mean,
young
Supernatural
adult.
is also young adult, but I mean,
I guess
I
that's
guess I
true
also
too.
started watching Supernatural a while ago. So like
Yeah, maybe.
being younger when you get into it, you're just along for the ride because you've been watching it for so long. It ran for 15 years,
Yeah.
and
Well,
and
I'm
we
sure they
actually
didn't expect that.
oh no, they were supposed to end after like the first 5 seasons. Like, they had only planned for 5, so that's why the show started feeling weird after the 5th season because they kept having to like we gotta find a new way to
Figure stuff
raise the
out.
ante. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta keep raising it up.
It got a little hard to believe after a while because there's always a new end of the world.
Yes, exactly. But so Dead Boy Detectives is there is one guy that died in like the 1914, I think he said. God, I hope I don't remember that right. But 1914, I think he died, and he became a ghost, and he was stuck in hell for a while, and somehow escaped from hell. We don't know anything about that. Didn't watch enough of the show. Then there's another guy that died in like the 80s, who also turned into a ghost, or maybe 70s or 90s. I don't know. Then they somehow met each other and decided that they're going to solve ghost mysteries, and they just kind of like roam around trying to find demons and
And
solve ghost cases.
and they get like a
And
new human sidekick each episode. It's kind of
yeah, they
weird.
get it. It's very much about like friendship and teenage drama, and they have like a whimsical take on like death, and it's like a lighthearted show more than them being like gruesome. You know what? That's the way I felt about it. It wasn't really very interesting to the story. I think
Yeah,
it was lacked by acting. The story for me just wasn't, a 10 out of 10 or anything. I don't want to rate the shows because we only watched 3 episodes of all of them, but this was going into it definitely the weakest of the three for sure. Also,
yeah.
they kept calling themselves the Dead Boy Detectives, and I feel like that's just like the show wrapped up in a sentence is like, if you think like if this is something that keeps coming up where they got to keep establishing that they are the Dead Boy Detectives and their name is amazing, then it's like
Well, and the thing is, people kept saying that it's a stupid name, and it's like they're self-aware to know that the title of their show is bad, and they went along with it anyway. Like
yeah.
that's not
It's
wise,
just it's just
probably.
like campy. They're just I feel like if you're like I don't know. It feels like if you're like a 17-year-old girl, this is a show that you would like. And we don't really fit in with a 17-year-old girl that likes a show like this. That's what it felt like to me.
Hmm.
So, David, any final thoughts on Dead Boy Detective? Is there any other things you want to point out? You want to talk about the witch?
So
Okay.
the witch, you mean the woman who one of the ghosts possessed, or the witch? The you mean the lady who was trying to track him down?
The the first one.
She made like a familiar turn into a little boy who's gay for one of the detectives.
All right, we don't need to
I guess, and then like really hates the other one. So it's like, I'm like, okay.
Oh man. All right, I think that's enough for Dead Boy Detectives.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, she's.
Yeah, but when you put it in a way like that, it's just like, oh yeah, okay, I guess that's true.
Well, like she also seems like she's gonna be a recurring antagonist. So we've
Yeah,
got
the one that's just gonna be it's gonna be like if they had like 10 seasons of this is like the one that comes back for like 3 episodes every single season and is just like, oh, we got to deal with her again. She escaped her jar of that we put her in.
oh no, but she's a real person. She can't go into a jar.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Who knows? Yeah, but they'll have to put her in prison. They'll put her in real life prison.
Oh, she's a witch.
And then she'll hit
She'll
people with
figure
a
out.
cane, an iron cane, and they'll go fly. The people will go flying and have burn marks on them. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I guess so.
that's Dead Boy Detective.
Dead Boy Detectives. Next on the line is Silo.
David, we watched Silo. Well, the first 3 episodes of Silo.
Yes, the first 3 episodes of the first season.
David, what'd you think about Silo? Do you want to live in the silo?
No, I don't want to live in the silo. So Silo gave me Fallout vibes, which gave me like I was surprised you liked it because it just seems very Fallout. You were like they're in a vault, they don't have any history. It seems like they're being experimented on because they're not allowed to know anything about what's going on in the outside world or anything. And it looks like the outside world isn't as bad as they think it is. And
That we
there's
know
like
of.
and there's always like a mystery. Like this show gives me True Blood vibes, where like each episode. Well, see, not in the way that True Blood was like about vampires and fairies and werewolves, but for me, True Blood wasn't that good of a show. It just every single episode always had a hook to kind of make you want to come back because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, what? Okay, what's gonna what? How are they gonna resolve this? And like every episode had like that hook to make you want to come back, even though the rest of the episode was like, not
Yeah.
not
Well, it's like
awful, but not great.
the start of each one of these episodes has like the ending of the next episode in it, or I don't know where these come from, but it's like the first like 5 minutes is a sequence that will
At the
take place like the next episode.
Or at the
So-
end of
or the end of the episode. So it's like you're like, how did this happen? What's going on here? Like, why the first 5 minutes? What the heck? How did we get there? So then you're like hooked to watch the rest of the show.
and then it like meanders throughout the episode, and then the end is like that hook, and then the beginning is the more hook, and then the middle meanders, and the end is a hook. Like
It's a very mysterious show.
that's how I felt.
Everything's
like
a mystery.
Yeah, that's how I felt like True Blood was, where like the writing wasn't good for like most of the episode, but they just kind of kept you coming back because there was always a hook at the end and the beginning of
Well,
each
it's because they
episode.
have like a cool. It's cool world building. They're building a cool world to me.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't mean that a bad thing, but the thing is, True Blood was good till like the second to last season, and it kind of did like Game of Thrones, where it just like went way off the rails for the last
Yeah, you're
two
right.
seasons.
Well, it's either you run out of content and your show's still popular, so you got to figure out what to do. Stranger Things, Supernatural, all these. There's tons of shows that have that, or like you said, that you can have it that way too. It's weird.
Yeah,
But-
but it's just like even the hooks. Then it just was like, oh my! It just became so unbelievable. It just
It's just like, oh man,
I
here we
mean,
go again.
I mean, I know there's suspending your disbelief, but like there's at some point where it just gets so ridiculous. It's hard to like keep suspending your disbelief, and that's the thing. A show like that is either gonna end at the perfect time and it'll be satisfying, or that it'll keep going and it'll be like, ugh. So,
Yeah,
that's what's got me worried about Silo, because Silo didn't give me strong enough stories each episode to be like, this show could stand up on its own. I just feel like it's relying on the hooks.
I'm very much
That's my take on the show so far.
I'm very much invested into the world building over the characters and their relationships with one another. The world building to me is way more interesting because you see they have that little camera in like the lunchroom where it's showing like a dead, desolate, look like a nuke went off type of world.
Mhm.
And then we see a character go out. This obviously we spoil everything, but we're only 3 episodes in, so we can't spoil everything. But one of the characters goes out and it's actually green, but then he still seems to die even though he's out there for some reason, or I don't know why.
Like, well, that's the thing. Like, it's like, is he really dead though? Is she really dead? Like, I just wonder if at some point, like,
Well, her body's not there when he goes out and he's looking, and they say in the show when there's people in the silo that are in like the lunchroom watching this guy go out, because it's a big deal. It's like the best television you can get when you're in a silo, where he goes out and he starts walking towards where his wife in episode 1 went to and fell. She fell down by a tree. Then when he's walking out, he starts heading towards that, and the camera shows that he's heading towards that, and her body's not there. So,
but it's there on the screen for the people. So
for the people, it's there.
So at some point, once they go
Something
out,
happened.
it gets computer. It's already computer. There's already some sort of filter. But then, like at some point, the real person disappears, and then just like a CGI version of them appears and they
Yeah.
collapse. So like, do they really die, or are they just seem to be dead? They just make everyone like kind of die as they
Like
go
they
out.
incapacitate every, because it's,
But
I
it
thought for
feels like there should
sure
be more bodies on the screen, you know,
there was
because
a couple.
there's
Well, I don't think
there's
it
only a
happens all the
couple.
time. People
Yeah.
aren't telling they want to go out all the time.
I mean, I guess so. Maybe it
Because it
makes
would be a
them.
scary thing to do if you just see, like, if you believe that this lunchroom camera is the real life, and then you go out with a spacesuit and you just see people die after dying all the time. I
Mhm.
wouldn't want to go outside either.
But the thing is,
So
like, I just don't know where the unreliable narrator is. I don't know if they're all unreliable narrators, because we see a view from his spacesuit where he is gasping for breath and the greens around him.
I
So
thought for
like,
sure that they were like the suits that they were putting on were going to be like getting rid of oxygen or something, and they just would pass out. That's what I thought for sure was
that's
going
what
to
it looked
happen.
like, and then he took his helmet off.
Yeah, and then he took his
That's
helmet off, and I was like, "Well, I'm wrong."
I mean, like,
That's why I'm interested. That's why I want to
well,
know. Like,
it's a good mystery. Like, it's a good hook. Like, it's a good hook, and they do something at the end of each episode to kind of further that hook, and
yes,
I like that. I mean, it could end up being a really good show going forward. But it like, when you only rely on the hook, it could also be equally as
yeah, it's
disappointing
just depends
by the
on.
end. Like, once you run out of hooks, and like,
Well, it's like
or if like the revelation isn't satisfying, it just kind of
it's
like,
exactly so. This show could be exactly what that Marvel show. Oh God, I can't think of it. What was the Marvel show? The Mystery Marvel show. It
what
had
if?
Wanda. Wanda. Was it called? It was Wanda, wasn't it?
What if?
No, no, not What If. We watched it. We podcast on it with the Scarlet Witch.
WandaVision.
WandaVision, yeah, where it was a mystery up until like episode 4, because it was like episode 1 was the 1950s, episode 2 was the
Yeah.
1980s,
Hmm.
episode 3 was the 2000s, and then the mystery gets solved that she's in like a controlled area, and then it's like, oh well, that's when both of us, I remember thinking like, okay, well, show's done, don't need to watch anymore.
Yeah, yeah. It became less interesting once
Yeah,
it was,
so
or
that
the
could be,
revelation wasn't as interesting. The answer wasn't as interesting as the question. That's the problem. Like, when you have a really cool idea, you've got to have a really cool answer, because otherwise it can be deflating.
yeah. So this show could go in a lot of different directions, but I like that it seems that the leaders of the silo seem to not really know what's going on, because in the third episode, the mayor or leader or whatever gets killed. So there's some force beyond her.
Hmm.
The outside, we don't know what's going on out there. They're definitely lying to them, because in the camera it shows a nuke went off, and in real reality it's not.
It's
It's green.
green. Yeah.
So there's those mysteries. Then the people within the silo itself, I don't care too much about. Rebecca Ferguson, our wonderful Dune lady, is in it, and boy, is
Lady
her the way
Jessica.
she's got a very wide acting range. It's, her character in this is so different than what she is in Dune. It's actually impressive how different it is, and she
Yeah.
does a good job. I'm just not very interested in her fixing the generator when. I guess the most interesting part for her is that she brought the sheriff down to like where they dug the
Yeah.
silo, and that whole area. That was probably the most interesting thing within the silo itself to me.
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't really care about the people's lives. Like,
The
yeah, it sucks. Obviously.
the fixing the machine, like, I'm
It was
not.
okay, but I
I'm
feel
not.
like
I'm not someone who does a lot of fixing. But like, it takes forever to like fix your car. This is like a giant generator, and they said like parts of it were like multi tons, and it's just like, it takes so long to move things that are multi-ton heavy, and to get them lined up, and like and this and everything, like, in real life. And it's just so hard to suspend my disbelief, and they're like under like a time crunch the entire time. I'm just
yeah.
like, first of all, I don't care, and second of all, this is like so unbelievable. Like, it's just, I cannot suspend my disbelief when like just mechanical things take a long time to do, especially by hand, especially with limited tools like they were
Sure.
doing. And I'm
Sure.
just like, the third episode was probably my least favorite of them, because of that whole like sequence of them fixing the generator. Because I'm just like
Yeah, I
rolling
think
my eyes. I don't care.
After I watched that episode, I think we're going into Rebecca Ferguson's going to be our main character, and they're doing character development for her so we understand who she is as a character. That's what I think episode 3 was. I think it was just character development for Rebecca Ferguson
But
because she's
that
gonna
hook,
be the
but the hook where like they killed the governor lady at the end of the
the mayor
episode,
lady.
or she killed herself or something. Or
We don't know.
I don't know what happened to her. She just is dead or like near death at the end of the episode. That, I mean, they always had like a little hook. It's like I do want to watch more.
I did think she was going to be a bigger deal than what she ended up being, or maybe she was a big deal and she know too much or something. We're not sure, but I thought for sure she was going to be like behind stuff. But if you're killing her in episode 3, she's probably not behind much. She probably didn't know a whole lot. But they knew something about another mystery that they had was babies. They only want certain people to have babies. They want people that are very easily controlled to have babies. That's a big theme of the show is control.
They want the sheeple. Apparently,
they want sheeple.
It's on the Apple thing, and everyone calls Apple people sheeple or whatever. So it's like they're leaning into their sheeple
they're leaning
marketing.
into the sheeple for the Apple show.
Yeah.
So there's you are right. There's definitely a lot of similarities with Fallout, and I think because before, as we were watching this, I was trying to figure out reasons why I preferred this show over Silo, or not prefer this show over Fallout. And I think I do have an interest in the mystery, but I think the over the top like parody that is Fallout, I'm just not as interested in. I don't think. I think I just don't. It's just maybe it's just like it's kind of like a satire. Everything they do is kind of like way too far from like realistic to me, and Silo feels more believable to me, at least. That's why I don't know. It feels like too crazy.
I like the satire of Fallout personally, but I mean, like aesthetically, it's very similar to Fallout. Everything looks kind of old, and it's
in Fallout. In Fallout, I know I mentioned on the podcast when we talked about Fallout, the vaults were the most interesting part for me. I can't even remember like the big nose guy. It's like there's a things in Fallout that I remember, and everything that I mostly remember is within the vaults. I thought the vaults were the most entertaining to me. Once you get out, I don't care about any of that other stuff. The vault was definitely the most entertaining. But there's not really much of a mystery with the vaults. We kind of understand why people are in vaults for the most part. At least I do.
Well, but the thing is, in Fallout, the vaults are all experiments, and they did different things to them in the different vaults.
Yeah,
like they're
see how they react.
Horrible experiment, and that's what Silo felt like to me. It's like this vault, they have no history. Their history was taken from them with or with some vague revolution, and that's why the history is gone. Like that's what it feels like, a Fallout experiment, and the aesthetics are very similar to Fallout. I mean, they're not the same, but they give me a similar vibe. Like, you know, they're in a big silo,
they definitely are similar. And I haven't decided yet if I'll continue watching this or if I'll watch it at some point in the future. But if the mystery comes out and it turns out to be very Fallout-y vibe, why they're involved, like their experiments, they're doing sheltering, whatever the heck. If it's the same as that, I'm not going to care about the show anymore. Because to me, the mystery is really the only thing that's keeping me going for this one.
Yeah, that's the same. Like, I mean, I do kind of want to watch more, but I mean, I'm not like super sold on. I'm in the middle of a whole bunch of other shows beyond what we podcast on that are long running shows. Like I was saying at the top, I'm actually watching SG1 and Atlantis in chronological order, and that's
that wasn't a joke.
That's quite a that's quite an undertaking.
So that's a lot of TV shows you've been watching over the past like 2-3 weeks. It's just you got like 6 going on. It's a lot. But David, that leads us into definitely, without talking, the strongest show that we watched about, and that is being Shogun, David. David, that is Shogun. Now, bring us in. What's Shogun about? We don't really know yet. Well, we kind of know.
Shogun is about Scorpion's struggle to become the Shogun.
Oh man. Yeah,
and then this English guy who really hates the Portuguese and trying to get Scorpion to fight the Portuguese. That's what's going on. It's way better than Mortal Kombat though. It's really, really good. Like Mortal Kombat had a couple good parts in it, but these 3 episodes are like top-notch TV. The sets, the lighting, the camera work, the choreography, the script. It's all solid, man. It is all solid, and that's another thing. Now that I'm speaking about camera work and stuff like that, Dead Boy Detectives was the weakest visual show. Like, it was just black. It was really hard to see what was happening.
It was
like,
dark
on screen. It was like the long night episode of Game of
Game of
Thrones.
Thrones.
I was just
I
like,
thought the
why?
same thing.
Like, why is this so hard to see? Why is this so poorly lit? Like Silo was also beautifully shot, beautifully lit. The dark parts were dark for a reason, and you could still see
there's literally a reason why there's a part.
And then, and even in the dark part, there was lights in the part you were supposed to see, and you could see what you could. It was just night and day difference between these two shows and Dead Boy Detectives. Like, the budget on Dead Boy Detectives is probably like way lower.
They darkened it on purpose. There's a we're totally got to get into Shogun, but in Dead Boy Detectives, there's a scene where they're walking over one of the bridges over the Thames in London, and it felt like it was nighttime, but it was definitely day. So I don't. That's not a point that anybody should remember.
Day for night.
The only reason you probably won't remember that specific scene. The only reason I remember is because like I've been that on that bridge that they were walking over, so it's kind of cool. But I took note of it. I was like, it's the middle of the day. Why does it feel like it's like 9 at night in the sunset? Anyway, back to Shogun.
It's just Shogun had such a strong everything. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't even talk about like the production value of the other two shows, and Dead Boy Detective's production value was miserable.
Yes, this was the reason. So the 3 shows that we are talking about here today are shows that I kind of looked into, took a very brief look into, and decided, hey, we'll do this, and that. The reason I picked this one is because it won Emmys, it won Golden Globe. It's been highly praised. It has high reviews, and that's why I picked this one specifically. And
because this one isn't science fiction or supernatural or fantasy at all. I mean, like,
this one's definitely
it's historic.
This one's definitely different,
but it's not
for
like.
Sure.
But most historic stuff is like heavily fictionalized, which is fine. But this show was great. And then the only thing like really talked about with this show was Brian texted me after watching the first episode. He's like, "Man, what a way to die!" And I'm like, "Yeah, what a great difference between a nice bath and a hot bath."
Yeah, we both knew exactly what we were talking about. But there is in the first episode there is a scene where the pirate merchant people, we're not totally sure on exactly where they come from or what they are about, but
English.
His crew, the first guy in your picture, his crew, one of them gets boiled. They put him in a big like clay pot thing that's human size that like a giant would drink from, and they just boil him to death. And that's not, and they really like he's screaming for hours. Like they go to like, they put him in there. Then they start talking about a little bit, and he starts yelling a little bit, and then they like cut, and it's a little bit darker, and they're in a different scene. They're in the house, and you can hear him screaming in the background. It's just, you cut to the third point, another scene, and one of the leaders of the Japanese people is sitting outside in like that Japanese way that they sit, and you hear him screaming again. They're like, "Why is he sitting out there?" It's like he likes to hear their last moment. So it's like, oh man, this show's no joke.
Yeah, so what's your overall take on Shogun?
The first thing that I noticed was that the show's in Japanese, and I thought, oh my God, I don't want this show as I'm watching it.
You don't want to read subtitles?
But what I will say is that I noticed it when it first started happening, each episode. So it's like episode 1, they started speaking Japanese. I was in my thought, oh my, again. And then episode 2 thought the same thing. Episode 3 thought the same thing. But after like 10 minutes, I didn't notice anymore. I was just going along with the show, which I'm luckily my brain was able to like turn that off, because that does annoy me. But I like it just felt, it immerses you more into the show, I think, because these are the cast, they are real Japanese people. I'm sure they had to bring on experts on how to dress and how to act, and the way their houses and the set looks. The dialogue felt Japanese to me. It just, everything felt like very, very accurate. And then you have this outsider come in. He feels like he is an outsider.
I mean, I think that really helps with the show having all the Japanese people speak Japanese, except for the people who do know English, and that way you've got I don't know, it's more immersive that way too. And then you've got the English guy;
Hmm.
he doesn't know what they're saying, but you do because you're the audience. But you understand why he doesn't know what they're saying because they're speaking Japanese. Like
Yeah, and
it's
I
just
appreciate that they don't keep it a mystery to us, the audience. Like to him, he's in a Japanese conversation. He has no idea what's being said. They're making fun of him sometimes. Sometimes they're like planning against him. Sometimes they're saying what he's going to be doing, and he's just standing there like, I got no, I don't know what you're saying. And he has a super cool voice, by the way. His voice is sick. He seems to be a really good narrator.
yeah, like it's weird because I felt like I recognized him. I recognized his voice, and he's all shaggy. And then when they shaved him, I'm like, I don't recognize him.
No, I don't recognize
I
him
don't
at all either.
reckon,
But his
but
voice was really cool.
I wonder if his voice is in some video games we played or something because his voice is super recognizable. I was expecting like to
Yeah,
recognize who he was, like once they shaved him and
I
cleaned him
don't.
up and cut his
I didn't. I
hair.
haven't looked anybody up. I
Yeah,
know the.
I only
I
know he's
know.
Scorpion.
I know. Yeah, I know both of those from different stuff. But the first guy, I don't know. The guy from England, I don't
Yeah.
know anything where he's from. But the show is still. It's hard to. I'm finding it a little bit difficult to talk about kind of what's going on in the show since they're still definitely building up on what's happening. We can tell that there's a couple
So
Japanese clans that are at war.
so basically,
The
like the guy who collected all the Japanese clans is dead. His son is not old enough to take over the empire, and all this guy's sub people are like fighting over territory until the kids of age or whatever. And so there's just like that old Japanese, or just the old school like power struggle
Yeah,
for territory.
it's like political intrigue.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
yeah.
who's going to do what?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's why every single episode is solid because it's well written. It's got political intrigue. It's not relying on hooks. It's just good character development, good story. Stuff's moving along. He's trying to understand what's happening as we're understanding what's happening. It's very well done. And
Yeah.
like I said, costuming, set design, writing, it's all been very, very good. The acting is solid across the board. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
acting's really good. All of it feels like all of the characters really feel like it's like I'm there. Like I'm watching this person interact in like real Japanese times and the era this takes place and I'm watching
mhm.
exactly what would happen. It doesn't feel fake at all. I don't remember the people's names at all. I keep thinking the first guy's name is John Marston, but I don't think that's it.
No.
But the way, even the way the girl talks in your background, the way she carries herself, the way she walks, she has to walk. She walks in a very like certain petite like way. The way our combat friend here in the middle, the way he acts is very like I'm the leader kind of guy. It's like he knows what he wants and he's going after, and he acts that way too. It's I don't know, and
Mhm.
the English guy, he's like just trying to figure stuff out. So everywhere he's going, he's just confused. He has no idea what's going on. He's just trying to survive.
Mhm.
So I think it's fair to say that we're definitely going to at least I don't I'm pretty sure you will too at some point. We're both going to probably watch
Oh, I
Shogun in full. And
totally
if
want to
there's
watch the rest of the
multiple
show.
seasons, I don't know if there's multiple seasons. If it came out in 2024, probably not. If there is another season, it's probably just about airing now.
Man,
So
I'm excited for a new season of that. I mean, I definitely want to watch more of
you're
this. It's such
excited
a
for a
good.
new season of Shogun. You've only watched the first three
Yeah,
of.
give me more. Give me more. This has been quality TV. I love me
This
some
is very high
quality.
quality TV.
This is some high
It's
quality
interesting.
H2O.
The worst part about this whole new show style that we had is that none of the shows are on the same network. None
Nope.
of them are on the same streaming service. That was a bit annoying.
You get a streaming
But
service, and you get a streaming service, and
yeah, they're
you get a
all
streaming service.
yeah. You gotta sail the high seas.
We live in the
But
darkest times.
Shogun is it's just a good show. I mean, if anybody's still listening and you want to watch a good show, we've only watched 3 episodes, and I am very confident right now that this will be a very highly rated show by the time I'm done with it. By me and I'm sure other people that have watched it, especially since
Mhm.
it's won like Emmys and Golden Globes and whatever
Yeah.
people say about it. I'm sure it's all valid because
Top tier TV. This is very very good
yeah,
stuff.
this is the good stuff. So yeah, that's really those are our three shows, David. Is there
Did you
any
did you watch Black Sails?
mm-mm. Nope.
It gives me Black Sails kind of vibes a little bit.
What's Black? Is that a pirate show? That's the
Yes,
pirate show, right?
I think it was called Black Sails. The it was basically a prequel to like Robinson Crusoe, I think.
Oh God.
But it's like super like hardcore R-rated like Showtime show, and it was really good. It kind of gives me that kind of vibe where it's just like a good story and pirates and stuff like that. It was cool. I like Black Sails.
Interesting.
Um,
Yeah. No, I didn't.
yeah,
I don't really know anything about that, but I believe you.
yeah, it's good.
So yeah, it's just the east side of the world versus the west side of the world, and these are our characters that we're going through that with. As religion is also we didn't touch on religion. Religion is
Yeah,
huge in this show. It's a giant, massive, like what it would be back in that time, where it's like they're fighting
The
to make people
Protestants
believe in their
versus
religion.
yeah, the Protestants versus the Catholics.
Yeah, and it was interesting every time he would interact with somebody that spoke English. It's like, are they going to actually take what he says for like
Are you
truth
gonna
and tell the
are you
leaders?
gonna
Because his first interaction with that monk guy, I don't know what his name was either, but his first interaction with somebody that could translate for him, totally immediately tried to screw him over. Like he's the worst. He's gonna kill us. Blah blah blah. And the Japanese clan leader of that area starts to believe him, and then he grabs the cross from the monks. Our first character there, he grabs the cross and starts stamping on it. So it's like he's trying to do everything he can to prove that no, I hate this guy. This guy sucks.
yeah,
And it works.
Yeah, it's
And it works. And it doesn't feel like it works because it's a TV show. It feels like it works because it feels like that's what would happen. Like this is something that would really happen.
you'd have to like that's how you get across that you're not the same. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't do any like, well, it's a TV show, so we have to like, do this just so we can get past this plot point. It's like, no, it feels like they got past the plot point in a way that they would in real life.
Yeah, in a logical way that makes sense because
Yeah,
a lot of TV shows
exactly.
like skip on the logic and make you like far fetched and
Like we were just talking about Silo with fixing the generator. It's like we have to forego logic a little bit so we can in service of the story, so the story can continue.
yeah. So like this show so far has been solid on like the logic, and I don't have to suspend my disbelief very much or at all really for this show, and it's been really solid. So I highly recommend Shogun. Like we've said, we've only watched the first 3 episodes. I purposely didn't want to watch any more because I want to just be compartmentalized for each 3 shows and 3 episodes. I didn't want to get ahead.
I
Even
thought
though
the same thing. I
even
was
though
like, should I watch? I thought that last night. I was like, should I watch another episode of Shogun? I was like, no, I'm not. I'm
no,
not gonna do it. I want to stay with the first 3 because I don't know
yeah,
what happened. The last thing we watched is the boats.
is Scorpion wanting to learn how to
Oh,
dive.
and he like sacrifices. Oh man, that was such a good scene when they're on the boat and the opposing clan is like trying to stop them from getting on the boat. They're like gonna go fight them, and one person gets left behind from our Mortal Kombat guys like squad or
Her
clan or
husband.
whatever. Yeah, exactly. Her husband. So they're setting up a thing between the English guy and her. So they like he gets left behind, and I had the feeling, well, like this guy's done for. Then our Mortal Kombat guy like calls him out, and he says like very in a Japanese way, like, oh yes, you are the greatest, I respect you. And then he's like, yes, I understand. And then he immediately just goes and fights. It's just like those Japanese people, man, they're so disciplined. It's just like
Yeah.
oh man, that was a good scene. I really like that scene where it's like, I have respect for you. You're going to die here, and that's okay. And I respect that this is the situation that we're at. We did our best for you. And he just was like, I understand. I'm going to go fight and see what I can do for you guys. And he wasn't scared, right? He was just like, this is the situation I'm in. It felt really cool because I totally would in that situation. I would have jumped in the water for sure. Then probably drowned because I have like 180 pounds worth of armor on me.
Armor on, yeah.
Yeah, I would forget.
Yeah. Yeah, Shogun, man, I can't say enough good things. The 3 episodes. I mean, I was hooked after the first episode.
I was hooked after the boil. Actually, I was hooked before the boiling scene happened. I was hooked as soon as they got onto the island. for
Yeah.
the island for the wherever they are in Japan. I wasn't hooked when they were on the boat, but they were only on that boat for like what 10 minutes, and then as soon as they get and start interacting with the Japanese people, I was like, okay, I'm in. It took 15 minutes.
Yeah, I was hooked immediately too, but I'm just saying, like, so many shows, like, I feel like you have to watch like a season or like 3 or 4 episodes for the show to really get going. And Shogun was just like out the gate,
Boom!
great.
You want to watch this?
Yeah, yeah. I just feel like shows being just excellent out the gate is so far and few between
Yeah, I agree.
lately. Uh,
I agree.
But yeah, that's these 3 shows. So
Yeah.
Silo's good if you like a mystery, and I mean I can't tell you if the mystery's gonna pay off or not, and that's my one reservation about Silo. I do not know if it's gonna pay off or not. But so far, it's interesting, and I want to know more. But
Yeah.
Shogun, just chef's kiss.
Yeah. So I guess we can end with Dead Boy Detectives is dead. We're not going to continue watching that ever. Silo is maybe. We'll see. We'll see what goes on. And Shogun is yes, we will be continuing. At some point, we will probably be podcasting again on it.
Yeah, like once we do get around to watching it, it's gonna be longer.
We do
for
have
me.
a schedule. We do have a schedule, but we'll see. Well, I built a schedule, so we'll see where we can fit it in because there are stuff that we're gonna probably want to talk about. There's some other shows that are airing right now that we might want. We'll see. We'll see.
And
More to come.
speaking of Fallout season 2's coming.
Whoa! This is a. We're gonna be. We got to be like Silo and be mysterious. We don't. Who knows what's coming? There's shows out there right now we're aware of that we're probably going to talk about.
Maybe
they're out there. So yeah, watch Shogun.
Absolutely. Until next time, guys. We'll see ya.
Email David at Synthaholics at yahoo.com and tell him why Shogun's the best.
Do it. I'll appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time on Synthaholics.
Bye bye.